Tonight, March 14th, 2018, 7 o'clock. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bear with me, I have a lot of paperwork. All right, consent agenda. We have the minutes of the meeting of February 14th, 2018, and the minutes of the special meeting of February 28th, 2018. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda of the minutes of February 14th, 2018, and February 28th. If there's nothing anyone wishes to pull from or discuss from the consent agenda.
Move to accept. I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, communications. Can we start with Discovery Plus? All right, so back on the week of March 2nd, Dr. Seuss Read Across America, the Connecticut Education Foundation borrowed Discovery Bus and brought it to a number of communities throughout northeastern Connecticut. And basically what you have in front of you is a breakdown of some of the schools and some of the comments that were received from Discovery Bus as it visited Putnam, Killingly, Brooklyn, and Sterling, in addition to finishing out on Friday here in Plainfield. I have to tell you that I visited the bus on Friday, but I was following all week based off of the Connecticut Education Association's Facebook page, and it was just amazing to see it. We know our children get excited about this bus as it went to a community, and it was the first time that it was seen in another community. The faces of the kids, it says it all, especially of how into reading they were, especially with also CEF had books that children could choose that were donated, and they were able to take a book home with them as well. Anything you wish to add to it?
No, just that the comments we got from when our children saw for the first time their eyes. How many of you seen the big blue Discovery Bus? Did you guys ever see it? Right? Seen it? Well, other communities saw it for the first time. Their eyes just popped wide open, and they got to hear a story and got a free book. And so we now became a regional image, and that was pretty exciting. So the CEA, Connecticut Education Agency, and its agency, Connecticut Education Foundation, sponsored it throughout the region, and all of those districts got to share one day of the bus and learn about the excitement of reading. So we commend the CEA for selecting our bus, and we're very happy to receive communication from all those communities saying, can we borrow it someday just for one day? It's kind of like a field trip on your own school site.
Mr. Alford, did you?
They were, on behalf of CEA, we want to thank you for letting us use the bus, okay? But the other communities were surprised how you were hiding that bus, okay? Because they were very impressed by the whole process that you created, okay, with this Read Discovery. Okay, if you notice, they tried to have me drive the bus, but your guys wouldn't let me.
Very kind.
Thank you again.
Very kind.
All right. Also in front of me tonight is a letter from Connecticut Water Company. We have Mrs. LaRose here from Shepherd Hill Elementary, and we received a Connecticut Water Company basically letting her know that they were selected, her class, as the third place winner in a drawing from participating in the company's Water Drop Watcher program. And they're basically going to be given a $200 gift card to reallygoodstuff.com to purchase school items for your class, and a $100 Visa card for a classroom celebration, books on water conservation, and water bags for the students. So congratulations. All right, and We have a letter as well from East Con just saying that there is a spot available on the East Con Board of Directors, and that they're looking for involvement, which I've been waiting to hear from them because I am on that committee, so we will certainly reach back out to them to be able to support their regional education services. That is it for communications. There's one hiding in here. All right. Moving on to personnel, resignations and appointments. All right, Mr. DePietro, will you walk us through?
Sure. So last meeting, if you remember, we introduced some new staff members to the Plainfield Public Schools. There's been questions, everybody knows there's a freeze, and we've actually had to hire people because some people left mid-year, one of them being an art teacher who retired mid-year. And I told you that we had someone pending, and she was sitting here that night. I don't believe Kathleen is here tonight, right? I don't see her, but she was sitting here, but her certification came in that day. So it's tonight that we can now honor her appointment, and so I recommend to you the acceptance of Kathleen Brown's appointment as an art teacher at, currently scheduled at Plainfield High School.
Effective
February 1st, because she started on that February 1st, we just have to make it retroactive.
I move that we appoint Kathleen Brown to the position of art teacher at Plainfield High School, retroactive to February 1st.
Okay, motion's been made.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right.
And secondly, one of the other people we told you that was pending certification, she actually has been an ongoing teacher for the last 2 years. She comes to us from another district. Her name is Rosemary Unan, and she is going to join the Plainfield the Plainfield Central staff, which is the two schools are side by side. The Plainfield Central staff in the intensive learning program for children with autism. She comes with a very good, quite extensive support in autism and working with children, and it's been her chosen profession. So you have a brief summary of her application, but again, I recommend to you Rosemary Unan, effective March 1st. She has been there since that day as a special education teacher in the Plainfield Public Schools, stationed at Plainfield Central School.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve Rosemary Unan, effective retroactive to March 1st, 2018.
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right. Public forum, Shepherd Hill Elementary student presentation. Mr. Nagel, will you make the introduction?
Actually here, I'll bring this up in a minute.
So good evening. I want to thank Mrs. LaRose. It was about 2 weeks ago, actually less than 2 weeks ago, we had a Reading Across America workshop in our building, and our third graders went down to read to grade 1 students, and our second grade students went down to read to K. And we had some guest readers, so Mr. DePietro, Mrs. Haskell, thank you for coming. And we saw some really great things happening amongst our kids. And one of them was Mrs. LaRose's class. The children had brought their Chromebooks to a grade 1 class, come up to their classroom, and they made a presentation, not only reading, but some of the work they're doing with another school system on owls and owl pellets. So we thought it would be great for you guys to see the work they're doing with technology and the research they're doing. So I'd like to introduce the following students and thank their families for bringing them here tonight. I have Trevin Long. So Trevin, come on up. And his family's right there in the back. I have Jaden Kane. Come on up, Jaden. His family's right there next to them. Samuel Parmesano. Come on up, Sam. His family's right there. And Annalise Nisbet. Annalise, come on up. Mom's right over there. So I want to thank your parents for bringing them out tonight. really, they had really short notice between the snow days and everything that you'll be talking about later on. Mrs. LaRose was able to get these kids and their families together to make this presentation really short notice, so I appreciate it. They're doing great things with the tools they have, and they're going to do a great job tonight. How you doing, Mrs. LaRose? I want to thank Ava. Ava brought her mom tonight for the presentation, so there we go.
I'm going to give you a little introduction. During this unit, we've usually done sea turtles. That's what I've done in the past. But this year, I decided to do something a little more relevant to what the kids might see around here, have around here, because in all honesty, the chances of some of these kids ever seeing a sea turtle, probably not so much. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit more relevant to where they live. So we chose owls. Another reason we chose owls was because we had in third grade at Shepherd Hill a grant with the EastCon, and we do farming the land and sea with Miss Esther, who the kids have gotten to know. We work with Matchog School in Wyndham, and we get together, we pen pal, we do a couple different field trips, and one of the things that Miss Esther does with us is owl pellets. So we haven't done that yet. That's our last science integration that we're going to do. So what I did this year is we first started with our informational writing and things that we were learning in language arts. So the first thing they did was they got to pick their owl. They got a blank packet that had different headings on it, and they went to work and did research. They had books, and they had their Chromebooks. And we had a couple different sites. BioKids, I think is what we got a lot of our information from, right? BioKids is a great website that they can go on. So after we did that, we took a lot of our computer classes to learn how to make a slide presentation using Google Slides. So all of what you'll see tonight is all done on Google Drive. Each kid has their own Google Drive, and they can actually access it at home as well. So everything we did was on their Google Drive. So all right, so let me pull up Jaden. So after we did these, they presented them in class already, so they've already done this once. All right, so Jaden, when you're done, I'll press the button. Okay, go ahead. You can try to look at it.
I will be telling you and showing you about the long-eared owl. Habitat. They live in the North America, out in the open. They live in forests and near grasslands, and they are found in the northern hemisphere. Appearance. Their length is 35 to 40 centimeters. Their wingspan is 35.43 to 39.37 inches. They have long round wings. They have a long tail that is colored black and brown. Diet. They eat voles, deer mice, pocket gophers, birds, kangaroo rats, insects, rabbits, and pocket mice. Nests and offspring. Nests and offsprings. They can lay their eggs in trees. They breed in February and to mid-July. They live in scrub areas and near open areas. Hazards or predators. Red-tailed hawks, eagle owls, golden eagles, crows, bull snakes, and falcons. Fun fact, they could keep their eyes open for 2 minutes. How can we help? We can help by not cutting down trees so they have a place to nest. Decided the barred owl. They live in forests near water and swamps. They live in pines, spruce, fir, and cedar forests. Cedar forests. Throughout Canada and Washington, they range from eastern in us, including Florida and Texas. Large trees with holes for their nest, usually left by other large birds. They have round appearance. They have round heads, gray-white faces, brown bars on the wings, brown-red neck. Diet. Fish, rabbit, birds, insects, mammals, amphibians, and arthropods. They can walk in shallow water. They can eat their prey whole. They can grab prey in the water. They store food in their nest. They eat small mammals. Nest and offspring. They lay 1 to 5 eggs. They use empty crow's nest to live in. Hazards and predators. Raccoons, weasels, and great horned owls, mammal cars, northern goshawk. Fun facts. They are nocturnal hunter. Barred owls live alone. You should not cut. How can we help? You should not cut down trees because owls live in trees and need trees for their homes.
I did the long-eared owl. Habitat. Long-eared owls live in forests. They are common in tree belts along stream and dry habitats. They are common in tree belts along streams and dry. They can be found at sea level up to 2,000 meter elevation. Favorite habitat includes dense trees and forests. They can also be found in shelter belts, small trees, and thickets surrounded by wetlands. Appearance. Their feather colors are brown with black dots and their face is dark brown. Female long-eared owls are usually bigger than the male. Long-eared owls are the smallest North American owl. Their wingspan is 90 centimeters to 100 centimeters. Males weigh 220 to 305 grams and are 35 to 37.5 centimeters long. Long-eared owl sound is like a hoo-hoo. Diet. They eat small mammals such as voles, deer mice. They eat small snakes, birds, and even the northern saw-whet owl. Long-eared owls kill their prey by biting the back of their head. They store extra food in the nest during incubation and while chicks are in the nest. This is a vole.
So something Trevor did that he really loved, we learned about text features in nonfiction stories. We learned about pictures with captions. So just supposed to show you how he applied that because he was very excited to put a caption under his picture, everybody, and he always points that out.
Nesting or offsprings. Pairs begin to form in February and they breed between February and July. Long-eared owls are monogamous. Males attract females by singing songs and showing off their flying skills. The females and couples take care of the eggs for 25 to 30 days. In later parts of the nesting period, females hunt. Owls climb out of the nest onto nearby branches after 3 weeks. They can make short flights after about 5 weeks. Predators and hazards. Most long-eared owls' deaths are probably caused by starvation. Some are killed by cars or shot by hunters in the U.S., but this is not common. Roosting adults are difficult to see because of their coloration. Slender bodies and ear tufts help them look like a branch of a tree that they are roosting in. Adults are preyed on by many raptors. Fun facts. Average lifespan 133 months. Average fledging 21 days. Migrating. How can we help? We can stop hunting for long-eared owls, stop using poison to kill mice because owls eat poisoned mice. Stop texting while driving so you can see if an owl flies in front of you.
Today I will be telling you about the snowy owl. Habitat. Snowy owls nest on the ground. Snowy owls can be found in Canada and North America. Snowy owls can also live in grasslands and savannas. Appearance. The snowy owl is the second biggest owl at 20 to 27 inches long. Their wings are 4.5 pounds, and their wings are 57 to 71 centimeters long with a 125 to 150 wingspan. Snowy owls have black and white dots on them, giving them a salt and pepper look. Snowy owls have yellow eyes. Diet. Snowy owls eat mammals, rodents, hares, birds, and geese. In the Arctic, snowy owls eat lemmings. Adults eat up to 1,600 a day. Snowy owls hunt by perching above the ground and watching their prey. Nesting or offspring. Owlets use their beak to break out of its shell. Female snowy owls will change to year to lay their eggs depending how much food they have around or in the nest. The male snowy owl protects the nest while the female protects the eggs or babies. Hazards or predators. Fox, dogs, wolves, humans, jaguars, and bigger birds hunt the snowy owl. Female and male will both attack the animal swooping down on them. Fun facts. Snowy owls can fly up to 50 miles per hour. You cannot keep a snowy owl as a pet. It is illegal. Snowy owls have thick pads on their feet to keep them warm. How can we help? Do not shoot guns at them. Don't cut down trees because they live in treetops sometimes.
While they were presenting, we picked a random peer just by picking sticks. So this was just based on presentation. So we went over it beforehand. This was a peer that assessed Trevin. This was Trevin's self-assessment. And then this, I put two at the end, sorry. And there was mine's not up there. And we talked about how when they're doing these assessments that their score range should be very close to each other. And the class did an excellent job of scoring everybody's and keeping everybody on track. Okay. After we did our presentation piece, we turned it into our writing piece. So we've been talking about informational writing. So this is one of the anchor charts that we use. This is one of the graphic organizers that they use. Instead of going back and researching again, they used their Google slide presentation. So they went back to their Google slide presentation. They had all the information they needed. And they took that and we put it into, let's see if that's on here. Yeah. And we took it, we put it into informational writing piece. So they learned, opening sentence, detailed example, and a closing statement. And so that was it, right? And now we have our last piece, which is our owl pellets, and that'll be our science integration with NetJob. predator birds, and I was lucky enough to get them to come, and they did a fabulous presentation, and we invited the whole third grade. Let me show you some of these, and they brought real live owls. It was great because a lot of my friends who had done these, they actually got to see their owls. This is a northern sawa owl. These were two. This is the eastern screech owl, male and female. We have that one. We have it. So you can kind of see them up close there. There was a male and female. And this was the great horned owl, which everybody loved. And I actually, see, I got the short, so I don't think I can get it.
Oscar, yes, he is a great horned owl called for those feather tucks on his head. He is the biggest owl we have here in America. Oscar is actually small. He's a male, really plus 3.5 pounds. Females can go up to 9 pounds. Oscar is with us, and not his name, because he's so large. This happened about 10 years ago. Very early in the morning, down in southern Connecticut, Oscar, as a young bird, was flying across the night, maybe in pursuit of a mouse, and he flew straight into a bird. Now the gentleman, it was dark out, they heard a bump, but they didn't stop. They drove. When he came in, and they opened the door, the husband and good, and her brother gone. And that was Oscar on that video still started. Oscar hit that truck so hard, it got wedged between the side view mirror on the passenger side and the door. And it wasn't a good thing. He got stuck there for that long ride. He didn't fall up. He wasn't hit by another car. But hitting that so hard, he shot his shoulder. So now his balance is like a one-winged bird. It's a few steps wrong. And Oscar tries to jump off his perch and fly almost to the ground, and he can't spread that wing. So he hit an 80.
And this one is that little northern sawa owl that was so cute.
She makes another kind of call. Mostly she makes it when it's the breeding season, which is in the spring. And she has a name called Starlight Owl. Because in the old days when they were naming birds, it sounded just like a person sharpening the song of the birds. Now, you might hear that in the woods, especially in the springtime in the mating, but most of the time of the year you won't hear her or see her. She's small, and she says she's got feet pretty big. We know where she is.
So I just have to say, I think it's absolutely fantastic that you guys are able to make such wonderful slideshows. Because let me tell you, I've been going to school for a very long time, and it's official, you know more than I do about how to make slideshows.
We had some friends who put sound effects in. They went on, they found the sound of their owl, and we learned together how to put the sound effect into their slideshow. Right, two of our friends did that. So, yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Well, thank you.
All right, parents of our Shepherd Hill students, we understand absolutely, since we do have a long agenda tonight, if you do want to take your children home or children take your parents home and put them to bed. So, with that, we also have the Girl Scouts tonight with us to also present during public forum. So if you'll step forward or step up to the mic.
We are from Girl Scout Troop 65093. We are currently working on our Bronze Award. The Bronze Award is the highest award that a junior Girl Scout can achieve. The Bronze Award is achieved by working on our project that will make a positive change in our community and the world. We recently met with Mrs. Hutchinson and Mr. Kotowski from Plainfield Memorial School to talk about a project that we would like to do. PMS is where we usually have our troop meetings. We decided we wanted to raise money to replace one of the water fountains in our school with a new water cooler with bottle filling station. Our goal is to raise $1,450, the cost of one cooler.
Our troop is collecting redeemable bottles and cans in order to raise the money needed. We have made posters and hung them at PMS for the staff to see. We have also made flyers for all staff. Our troop has already collected $51.90 and will continue collecting them until our goal is reached.
Ways this project will help. Bottles and cans are being recycled. Fewer bottles will be purchased, so fewer bottles go into landfills. Tabs from cans will be pulled and donated to the veterans. This water cooler will serve many students and staff members for years to come. Does anybody have any questions?
We have bottles and cans, where can we leave them?
Mrs. Degliardo.
Well, I thank you tonight for coming out and telling us about your project. I think it's a great project that will definitely help our schools. All right, public forum. At this point, is there anyone that wishes to address the Board of Education? All right. Hearing none, then we'll move on to our student representative reports.
Hello. We don't really have too much going on here, but there are a few things, like we just finished halfway through the third quarter, so our interim reports will be coming this week. Yay. And we have spring sports starting on Saturday. And our attendance is still good.
Yeah, all these snow days are getting kind of crazy, but this is around like my favorite time of year because I feel like there's like a lot of stuff going on. We did like a blood drive 2 weeks ago. We have, like Brooke said, we got spring sports starting this week and next week. We got, if you look at on the other side of the window there, we could see the college acceptances are going way up. And then we're just, we got, my English teacher wanted me to promote that we're doing the poetry slam. I think it's April 7th at like a Victoria Station in Putnam. So she's really excited about that, wanted to promote that. And I'm pretty sure we have like a spring concert going on March 22nd. So yeah, we got that going on.
We had a walkout today at school for the 17 people who were murdered in Florida by the school shooter, I guess I should call him. And that was very successful. We had half of the school mostly there, and it was very silent and respectful. So that was good, and that's what's going on in VHS.
And I just also wanted to say during public forum, before the board meeting, we had PMS, Mrs. Hutchison had put on excerpts of the door contest that was going on at PMS, and we'll certainly kind of show that again, maybe during the superintendent report for any of the board members that weren't here during that time as well.
I could just say something about it. So this year at Plainfield Memorial School, our theme has been grit and perseverance. So when I put it back up, each of the classrooms picked a book or a series of books that centered around that message of perseverance and not giving up. So you'll see quite a collection of different books chosen to be displayed. And that was the culminating of our week of Reading Across America. They were set up so it was nice for parent conferences. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to old business. Fiscal year 2018 budget and facilities report.
Thank you, Chairwoman, Mrs. Haskell. As reported last month, we have a couple budget items that are giving us trouble. It would be the outplaced tuitions and the transportation line items. We are working to mitigate those cost overruns. I will be setting up meetings with each of the principals over the next week to determine what areas they can give me commitment on cost savings. At this point in time, I've run through the analysis on my own with my own interpretations, but I need the principals to be able to confirm that the savings that would help mitigate our cost overrun would actually come into play and get us to be at a zero overrun by the end of the year. It's been a tough year. Mr. Spalding is working with me on reviewing the outplaced students. I'm working with DATCO to see what we can do about consolidating some of the bus runs to help mitigate the cost overruns in those areas. I only met with DATCO about 2 weeks ago. I have not heard back from them yet. But as we get further into the year, it gets more difficult to impart these savings. So I will be reaching out to DATCO again to push them along to see if they can help us out. That's about it on the financial side. It's a tough year, I mean, as you very well know. On the facility report, there's a few items to discuss. We have a gutter on the south eave of the early childhood building that was torn away in the high winds. Actually, the folks from the roofing store came out during one of the storms and secured it to the building so it wouldn't tear off and injure anybody. Mrs. Cadro informed me today that they have now come in with a quote to do the repair and put that gutter back into place. So we'll be moving forward with that. At Shepherd Hill, during the rain and windstorm of March 2nd, there was some damage to some of their perimeter chain link fences. I believe our building and grounds folks are removing it, or have they done already?
They've taken the trees away. They've got fencing there to start to fix up these streets and holes.
Great, okay. So that fence will be repaired soon by our folks. At Moosef Elementary School, again, during that same storm, we had trees come down on the perimeter and damage some of the fences. I don't know, Ms. Legoskis, what position we are in. Are they being repaired, or?
The tree was not ours. The tree belonged to a neighboring property.
Okay.
They have removed the tree, and Mr. Walter and his crew have set about to repair the fence. The fence is really, really old, so.
Fence.
You know,
It's actually one of the fences, but I'm sorry for interrupting. I understood right from before our conversation. It's one of these fences that was buried into the brush and tree line that we didn't even know was there until they put the new parking lot in. And once they cleared the trees out, we found out there was a fence. Now it's given us a problem.
40 years ago, 50 years ago.
At Plainfield Memorial, no issues to report at this time. Plainfield Central School, the hot wells were going to be replaced by our building and grounds folks. However, the hot well that was delivered was the wrong one. So now they're waiting for the new 3-well hot well to come in. Once that's in, they will install and we'll be all set. So again, our folks are doing the work and saving us tons of costs. It's excellent, it's excellent. At Plainfield High School, I believe one tree came down during the storm, but it has not presented any kind of issues. Mr. Worth, do you know if they've removed the tree?
They have removed that, they've gotten it off, it's all cleaned up.
Excellent. So there we go. The buildings seem to withstand these last few storms that we've had. Yes, exactly. We've done well. Keeping our fingers crossed. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Could I take a moment just to say two things? One is for the public's benefit. In this current year, we have had at least, is it 3 DCF students that have come forward, 603s at least? This year. At least 3. The reason for telling you that is because each year we've been seeing where students are brought into our district and they're identified by DCF because of need of placement, and then we place them. In addition, there's been 1 or 2 students more that we've had to find a placement for. With numbers of 3 to 5 students going to outplacement not originally projected in our budget, we look at costs of anywhere up to $100,000, $150,000 more dollars in placements than were budgeted. So the reason for right now that we're mentioning our caution to get to the end of the year and be balanced is that we had to move from what was called a regressive hard freeze. That's where we explained to everybody that we took last year's number, and if that was 50,000 on a line, but the administrators asked for 80, we would regress that back to 50. We have to go beyond that. So it's now no longer a regressive hard freeze, it's an actual stopped hard freeze. We've actually stopped all expenditures right now. The only way to enact a new expenditure is the administrators need to call forward before and ask for an approval of a purchase order. So what we're taking on behalf of the board to make sure that we can actually make new cuts that were not anticipated because of new costs that were anticipated, such as new placements and transportation to those placements, is that we stopped all expenditures other than those that need to get pre-approved approval from the administration. In addition, all of the administrators who have been working diligently all year, I really commend them, they're actually now going to sit with Mr. Lucio one-on-one and say, here are the things we will not do. We were going to do a front renovation. We were going to put a second heating unit on the top. Those won't be done. It's 10,000 here, 20,000 here. We looked at grants. Mrs. Cadro looked at some monies that could be carried forward into expenses. And we're going to make sure that we do everything in our power to come to the end of the year and have further cut. But that's the necessity because we're in a tight time. No one's fault, it's just what we have to do. The one thing that I do want to tell you is because of those increased costs in special ed, we received our first half-year installment, correct?
Yeah.
From special ed XSE. That number is coming in higher, and the second half will be higher. So we're going to exceed the revenue for special ed XSE. That money does not come to us, it goes to the town, but it's good news that the town will realize some additional revenues, could be 50, 80,000 or more dollars on their side. And we've had that conversation with the town to let them know that it's not money we can access. We access the expense part of it. We have $100,000 to $200,000 more in special ed, but our recovery doesn't come here. It's not something to fret about right now. It's just that you need to understand that the cost gets recovered, but in a different way. So we will make the cuts that are necessary. Each month we will report to you, but we're past a regressive hard freeze. We've already saved over $370,000 by the regressive hard freeze, with more to come. We actually now are putting in a stop action. It now takes a purchase, it now takes a request before the expense can be made.
I don't want to make the meeting too much longer, but can you brief it up? Why does the town get the money for spending?
That's the process. The state says we only give.
So that's just the process from the state.
It's from the state. The state says we only give you money that recovers what you spent, and then the town applies that to you.
But if we spent it, the town didn't spend it. Why are they getting it?
That's how it goes. Let me tell you, to the fairness of everyone, in years past and in current years, we always project how much money we thought we might get, and they count that towards the taxes. So instead of saying we need 35 million, they say we need 35 million minus the 500,000 we'll get in special ed. Now we might get 700,000, could be a little more, and that's how you help the fund balance, and that's how we help. This year, because there's been so many cuts on the state level side, it's just important to note that we are recovering some more money for the town. But we'll always have to resolve this issue by when we pick up excess costs in special ed, but that money can't offset it. That may be something we hope to look forward to in the future. It's a process right now that's absolutely designed by the state and by the town.
And I just want to say, we're still concerned about the budget, but I do, honestly, I have to just say how much I appreciate the stop freeze and how much work I know it takes from our administration to kind of look at those options. I know it's a lot, and I just want to let you know it is appreciated in this board year. So, also, since we talked about facilities reports and everything, 3 nor'easters with a 4th coming. I just really, really, really have to commend our custodial and our maintenance staff for all of the work that they've done. This is an unprecedented weather pattern that we're in. I certainly hope that it lets up, but the fact that our schools were able to be open today after receiving 2 feet of snow it speaks to the high level of work that they put in. All right, fiscal year 2019 budget request adoption. So back on February 3rd, we met for our workshop, and can I have that extra copy? I said I'd take my notes there. So we had met to discuss the budget, and we held our workshop and basically came up at that point with a preliminary budget of $35,221,582, and then just based on our year and knowing that we have the potential for high roads coming in, we met again on February 28th to kind of discuss and to look at a $1 million contingency plan for additional, what an additional $1 million would look like. At that meeting, we just kind of discussed things, but we still have to set our fiscal year 2019 budget this evening. So knowing that we have high roads coming in, and that's $100,000, that would bring us down to, and if we included that projection, it would bring us down to $35,121,582. In addition, we have looked at other cost savings and cost cuts. And we could start to look into implementing an activity fee at the high school, which, would you like to expand on that?
So the concept that was brought up, it's been asked a few times, are there ways to save money for the activities, not just athletics, but pay to play is a concept, but activities are things such as when you go to college, you pay an activity fee. So we have students at the high school that are in drama. We have students who are on National Honor Society. We have students on the debate team. We have students who are on programs such as school leadership. They also have a number of athletic programs. And so one of the concepts that we brought forward to look at is, rather than saying if a student goes to 3 sports, they would pay 3 fees. Someone who goes to 1 sport, someone who doesn't go to any sport will pay nothing. If we said that every child has equal access to all of the programs, be they athletic, be they co-curricular, or just a school year extended day program, and we assigned a fee, such as $100 or $150 for the year, you would then be able to generate revenue. We estimate that revenue in the $100 to $150 range would be about $50,000. That if you did that, if you chose to do it, you would be answering the question about, is there a way to offset some of the cost for athletics and co-curricular? The second thing it would do is all the families would be assessed, so that if a family does have a financial hardship, it would be done privately and personally, and it's not 3 times 3 sports, 2 times 2 sports. It would be 1 fee. Third reason it had some merit is because we already assigned a fee over the 4 years of $90, only $90 over 4 years, for graduation, and that's already been met with most families. there are some families that need support, and we provide that. Anything we do is on a graduated scale, addressing the need of the family. You don't charge a family that clearly cannot afford to meet that need. By using an annual fee, you would annually bring in monies, which can help offset the budget, and it also could help to maybe purchase things, like, for example, their graduation fee would be built in then. So even if you were charging $100, one of the fees they paid over 4 years was $90, so that's kind of mitigated. But also things like we spend a lot of money on technology, one-to-one technology for the students. It may, if not in the first year, but with a year or two, we may be able to then start purchasing the technology that students could take right to college with them, because parents would be paying a fee, and that part of that would be instructional support, activity support, and athletic support. Now, that's a strong reason for maybe considering it. If the board feels it's something they'd want to enact early into its budget, then we would put it in, expect the revenue, and then we would start communicating to parents the fact that this would be an anticipated cost. It could always be reconsidered at a point, but it was one way to look at how to address the request on the part of some people to say, is there a way to help offset the cost, without assigning to the particular student who is doing a particular sport a fee. It would be a generic activity fee. And so that was an estimated revenue of about $50,000, accounting for the fact that some of these have to be paid out. You have to pay for graduation costs, so all of it doesn't become, just money to offset the budget. It's going back to students in one way, shape, or form.
Would that include instrument rentals?
Not instrument rentals. That's part of their instructional band and music program. So most students come with them because they've been playing for a period of time even before.
Well, either they come with them or we own them right here and we provide them at the school.
We do replace them when they get really bad, but we have a number of instruments already available for students.
What is the percentage of students that participate in extracurricular activities? Do we know?
I would say, probably 3/4 of the students participate in some type of extracurricular activity, whether it's the athletics, band, chorus, the music, the drama, any of the number of activities that we have after school, from the clubs, the activities, the poetry slam that we've got going. I mean, these are things that you may have 15 or 20 students that participate in this activity or this activity, but over the course of the year it adds up.
We're going to be asking students who potentially don't participate, those families are going to be paying a participation.
Well, as I see or understand, Mr. DePietro's idea or concept, it would be they wouldn't then be paying that over the course of 4 years, the $90 class dues. That would be part of that activity would come out because the class dues are very important when it comes to junior prom and senior prom, when it comes to graduation, because it pays for the venue and the meals, and I mean it reduces the cost of the tickets that the students have to purchase for the event. So there are costs that are associated with activities that students participate in as they become juniors or seniors, and the class day, the class outing, it could help offset the yearbook costs for some of the students, as well as generate that the revenue.
So it's not just sports and clubs, it's also, like you said, senior prom, junior prom.
Right.
It's an activity fee. It's all activities, whether that is social activities.
Most students would then participate.
And one point is, as a reference, so at the middle school, when I love going to their musics, literally between chorus and band at the middle school, almost 50% of the kids are in the program. That's just music. Then we have athletics. Now, we're not asking about the middle school, but if that's where they're coming from, that's why 75% is a very realistic number. Between music, band, theater, honor society,
right?
You have them all together.
Student council,
right?
All the different clubs.
Debate.
We have the debate team, the Dungeons and Dragons, the intramural sports as well.
Special ed, Olympics, all of that. So everyone has full access to any activity we do. And so instead of saying you're being assigned to participate, you're saying everybody has the right to participate.
The money's going to come from somewhere.
Right.
All right, so including an extra $100 $6,000 based on the high roads program that we are bringing in. And the $50,000 if we include that projection. That would bring us to a budget, putting forth a budget of $35,071,582.
Say that again? What was
$35,071,582.
that? And that's with the
That-
$100,000 for high roads and.
High roads and activity
And
fee.
activity fee.
And that, just so that, to let you know, that's a .47 increase
That's my next question.
over the budget.
Over what we're operating on right now.
Yes.
Less
So less than half a percent,
Point what, 7?
.47.
Okay.
Have we
Less than half
signed
a
a
percent.
contract with High Roads?
We have not, that is
That's
next,
later on, yeah.
that's right next. We are expecting that contract by the April meeting, but we would be looking at that contract. It's, like we said at the special meeting of February 28th, we went and we viewed the program. We just need the time to be able to get the contract, have legal look at the contract, and just kind of make sure that all parties are protected in that contract.
On our first February meeting, when we first talked about the budget, that, without the activity fee and stuff, wasn't high roads part of that one?
Was.
And then, but at the second meeting, you said we could get an additional 100,000 because of something, right?
So High
It was
Roads.
already in there, but now we're adding more or something.
High Roads gave us an estimate, they gave us an actual locked-in contract
Right.
of $384
Yeah.
for up to 12 students.
Okay.
At the time we did that, we said, well, we could probably, because we have maybe 11 to 14, 11 to 13 students that could be eligible, not every child may come into that program. Let's say 6. Well, 6 children at even 70,000 is 420.
Right.
Even at 80,000 would be 480. And they were going to charge us 380, so 480 minus 380 would be 100,000. Since then, because we went back to High Roads and we saw the program, we can put in 12. So even if we only had 6 or 8 students, we have 4 openings that we could market to neighboring districts. And so if we have 10 at approximately 70,000, it would be 700 from 380, which gives us about 200 to 225,000. So we upped ours to say we would just have to market a little up front. But we know that we have the 12 openings. In addition, Catapult, High Roads, agreed that if we wanted to go beyond 12, that's only 6 in a class, 2 classes, we could add, for each student, we would add only 32,000. Now, against a placement of 70,000, we're only going to be charged 32. So if we told